Welcome back to the Crypto Market Updates channel. Today is the 29th of December. It is the last Friday before the New Year's weekend. So I hope you're ready for the blast off to welcome 2024. In the meantime, today I'm going to talk about what is a 51% attack. In a recent discussion or a chat exchange in one of the in the Meowcoin server, somebody brought up the point that people were not really aware of. Some people may not be aware of what a 51% attack is, and some others may simply don't care about it. So I figured I'm gonna make a video to possibly make aware those who are not clued into what a 51% attack is, and maybe bring some awareness to those who don't care. So let's get crack-lacking on this. Off we go. So what is 51% attack? 51% attack, an attack on a cryptocurrency blockchain by a group of miners who control more than 50% of the network's mining hash rate. It's kind of like owning a company. As soon as you own more than 50% of that company, it's technically yours. You do have stakeholders, but the company belongs to the person with the highest percentage of the ownership. Owning 51% of the nodes on the network theoretically gives the controlling parties the power to alter the blockchain. So theoretically, if any one person or a group of people or a group of computers owned or had control of more than 51% of the hash rate on any blockchain, they could control the blockchain and change the blockchain to whatever the heck they wanted. Understanding a 51% attack. A blockchain is a distributed ledger, essentially a database. I think I talked about that in one of my previous videos. If you haven't checked it out, then make sure to check that video out as well. Also, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, smash up the likes on this video. Let's continue the good work, yo. So this database records transactions and information about them, and then encrypts the data. The blockchain's network reaches a majority consensus about transactions through a validation process, and the blocks where the information is stored are sealed. The blocks are linked together via cryptographic techniques where previous block information is recorded in each block. This makes the blocks nearly impossible to alter once they are confirmed enough times. This essentially means that the older the blockchain is, the more difficult it is to alter, because the more blocks there are, the more information that would have to be changed. So in order to change the information on an older block, one would have to change the information on every other subsequent block, because the information on the previous blocks is contained in the new blocks as well. The 51% attack is an attack on a blockchain where a group controls more than 50% of the hashing power, the computing that solves the cryptographic puzzle of the network. This group then introduces an altered blockchain to the network at a very specific point in the blockchain, which is theoretically accepted by the network because the attackers would own most of it. Because every additional block contains the information from previous blocks, the hashing power that is required to solve the mathematical equations becomes greater over time, which is an explanation for the difficulty level that arises with every subsequent block that is added to the blockchain. The longer the blockchain, the older the blockchain is, the more difficult it is to solve a mathematical puzzle, and the more computational power is required for those puzzles or for those mathematical equations. So who is at risk of a 51% attack? You might ask yourself, so what? Who cares? I'm not involved in that. But so who is at risk of a 51% attack? The type of mining equipment is a factor, as ASICs or ASIC secured mining networks are less vulnerable than those that can be mined with GPUs, as they're much faster, obviously. Cloud services such as NiceHash, which considers itself a hash power broker, theoretically make it possible to launch a 51% attack using only rented hash power, especially against smaller GPU-only networks. Essentially, if you are talking about a larger network like Bitcoin, obviously it's a lot more difficult and a lot more expensive to attack that network and take over 51% of its hashing power versus blockchains that are smaller. So the question arises, is a 51% attack on Bitcoin even possible? And I guess maybe this is why the blasé attitude of a lot of people may be coming from. I mean, this may be why the reason why people are not really concerned with the 51% attack, and why nobody, or not a lot of people, actually take the time to learn about it. So the Bitcoin blockchain could suffer a 51% attack. It could, by a very well-formed attacker, but the cost of acquiring enough hashing power to do so generally prevents it from happening. So I guess a single attacker would not be able to do it right now. It could be possible for a group of people to get together, collude, and get that thing on the way. But attacks are prohibitively expensive. A 51% attack is a very difficult and challenging task on a cryptocurrency with a large participation rate. In most cases, the group of attackers would need to be able to control the necessary 51% and have created an alternate blockchain that can be inserted at the right time. So basically, the attack would need to take place at a time, and then a blockchain that would replace the original one would have to be put in place. Basically, you would have to force a fork at a certain time in the blockchain. Then they would need to outhash the main network. The cost of doing this is one of the most significant factors that prevent a 51% attack, because it takes money, a lot of money, to provide the hashing power to a blockchain. This is also where blockchains get their value from, and that's also another video that I made. If you are interested in finding out more about that, then check out the video. I think it's titled, "Do Cryptocurrencies Have Value?" or "How Cryptocurrencies Have Value?" Something of that sort. Check it out on the channel. So how much would it cost to attack Bitcoin? A 51% attack depends on control of mining, not how many Bitcoins are held. Attackers would need to control 181 exahash per second of hashing power to attack the Bitcoin blockchain as of June 7, 2023. Now, what is an exahash? I'm not gonna explain it, but it's a lot. It's huge. Think of it as blocks on a memory disk, I guess. You've got bits, bytes, megabytes, gigabytes. Now we have terabytes, and I guess an exahash would be even bigger than a terahash, possibly. In any case, it's massive. Most miners are able to pull up mega hashes and possibly a gigahash, but exahashes go in the millions of tiny little hashes. This is more than 941,634 of the most powerful ASICs miners, which have a hash rate per unit of 257 terahash per second and cost more than 7.9 billion in equipment only. This is equipment only. It would take time to set it up, because you have to think about, the size of the miners, which are about yay big, I guess maybe yay big, and they weigh anywhere between 5 to 15 kilo per piece. And you would need to have a massive warehouse to store all that, unless of course you hijacked warehouses with ASICs miners. So the task would be massive, massive, massive. Attack timing. It's also important for the attack to take place at a certain point in time. In addition to the costs, a group that attempts to attack the network using a 51% attack must not only control 51% of the network, but must also introduce the altered blockchain at a very precise time. Even if they own 51% of the network hash rate, they still might not be able to keep up with the block creation rate or get their chain inserted before valid new blocks are created by the honest blockchain network. Because if they try to hijack a blockchain at a certain time, obviously they would have to still keep up with all the transactions coming in onto the new blockchain, or otherwise they would lose control of that blockchain, and I guess the attack would revert back to the original blockchain, because the other miners, the honest miners, would still be locked onto the original blockchain. So the outcome of a successful attack are not great. But what would happen? What is the outcome of a successful attack? In the event of a successful attack, the attackers could block other users' transactions or reverse them and spend the same cryptocurrency again. So this would be a double spending, basically creating additional bitcoins or additional cryptocurrencies out of thin air. So let's say Bitcoin has, a 21 million supply, and a double spend would render that number invalid, and basically we'd be looking at banks printing money willy-nilly as they see fit. It is also the basic cryptographic hurdle blockchain consensus mechanisms were designed to overcome. Successful 51% attackers may also implement a denial of service attack, where they block the addresses of other miners for the period they control the network. This keeps the honest miners from reacquiring control of the network before the dishonest chain becomes permanent. The bottom line, a 51% attack is the unlikely event that a group of will acquire more than 50% of the hashing power of a cryptocurrency network. These attacks happen on smaller crypto networks but tend to fail on larger ones like Bitcoin because they are more secure. And I guess attacking a smaller network is still costly, and the benefits, an attacker would have to weigh the benefits versus the cost. And I guess in a sense it would be similar to investing into a new cryptocurrency hoping that it will pump. If an attacker takes over a fresh blockchain that isn't worth a lot, they will have to spend a fair amount of money to take over the hashing power and control the blockchain. But will the rewards be justifiable? Will they receive enough rewards? Most likely not, because the blockchain simply isn't mature enough, and the value of the cryptocurrency they'd be taking over isn't enough to justify the cost. They simply would not be able to, they wouldn't be making a lot of money. They wouldn't be stealing a lot of money, unless they're gung-ho on stealing a blockchain just for shits and giggles. Because I mean, if you really wanted to start something, just create your own blockchain. That probably would be a lot cheaper, a lot easier to do, and it would just make a lot more sense. So now you know. So although a 51% attack is feasible and possible, it is highly improbable. For once, on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's stupidly expensive. It would take a lot of time, a lot of manpower, and it's virtually, it's just virtually impossible to do. And on a smaller blockchain, again, it's absolutely possible. It's a lot easier to take over 51% of a smaller blockchain, but why would you want to do it if the rewards are just simply not there? It's just wouldn't be worth your time to hijack a smaller blockchain, because you wouldn't be able to recoup your expenses probably, and there would be no benefits, no economic incentives to do that. So that's probably the reason why most people don't really care about the 51 attack. Maybe it's just to scare people off away from crypto. In any case, the Crypto Market Update channel is nearing 2,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for joining the channel and supporting and subscribing and liking the videos, and sharing the content, I guess, because some of you are sharing the content, so thank you for that. Please don't forget to do the same on this video. Smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here, share this video with everybody else who should or would like to learn something new about crypto. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, Happy New Year, because I probably won't see you over the weekend unless I feel inclined to make another video over the weekend. And if not, then I will see you next year in 2024. Yeah, Crypto Father out.